Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Steve.
Thank you, Paul. What if tonight? Thank you. What if tonight you discovered something that would help you be the best you can be? You know, something that would, improve your overall wellness. Something that would make you feel more engaged in everything that you do. You know, something that could even help position you as a Carrick recipient. Well, tonight we want to talk about something that will do just that. But there's a problem with it, okay? I want to tell you the problem right up front. The problem is, it's simple. Guys, it's simple. It's dead simple. You know, and it's easy to confuse simple with stupid, isn't it? Right? Let me tell you what I mean. I got a friend of mine, and he's got this guy in his neighborhood that runs around the neighborhood collecting bottles, and he returns them. One day he sees him out in his backyard. Hey, if it's out at the curb, you can have it. These bottles out back are for my son. He's saving them for his hockey team. Sorry there, fella. Not a problem. No, I'm having a good week anyhow. I was able to give $280 to the shelter. You mean you give the money from these bottles to the homeless shelter? Yeah, I got pretty much everything I need. I mean, how would you feel, right? Anyhow, a couple weeks later, my buddy's up on a ladder on his house, and he's decorating his house for Christmas. Right? He's putting the decorations up, and he hears this noise. Sure enough, it's the guy. And he's got a grocery cart, and it is full of bottles. And the next thing you know, he's heading to the backyard. Hey, I told oak bats for my son. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I know. I had some extras. I thought your son could use them. I don't know about you, but if that was me on that ladder, I would have done and I would have said the exact same thing. You know why? Because I have my ideas and my biases about how the world is and how everyone in it acts. And and in that case, what it prevented me from doing was seeing what really was going on. And it was really pretty simple in that situation, wasn't it? And we couldn't see it. And so for you tonight, the short little time we got together, how about you just give yourself permission, right? Permission to, suspend your beliefs about how the world is and how things are in it and how people act. Because, if you're looking for the key, right? If you're looking for the key to being the best you can be, to overall well-being, to more engagement, oftentimes hanging on to old beliefs is going to get in your way. So, let's get a look at some of what you're going to get, what you're going to get from this something. Do you guys want a lot of PowerPoint? I only got one. Okay, so here's what you're going to get. Are you interested in more energy, earning more income, be more likely to achieve important life goals, have more social connections, have more happiness, be more generous, have more optimism, have higher levels of life satisfaction, sleep more soundly, exercise more regularly, have greater resistance to viral infections, be less likely to be depressed? And here's the kicker. Live longer. What's here not to want? Anyone? What's the something? You want to guess? The one thing that'll get you this is gratitude. Experiencing and expressing gratitude is going to get you all that so that it'll help you be the best that you can be. Okay, I know what some of you are thinking, so we got to get it out of the way. Before we go any further, let's just get it on the table. Some of you are thinking, okay, this guy, how does this guy go from being an electrical engineer to this, whatever this is, this gratitude guy thing? Like, an engineer? Come on, really? Well, you know, really, nothing's really changed. I've gone from trying to make sense of something that you can't see, electricity, into trying to make sense of something else that you can't see. You know, gratitude. Seriously though, how about I just tell you about my life, my journey, because it'll give you an understanding of how I made that transition, and it will illustrate the power of gratitude and how you can get those benefits. Sound fair? I grew up in Halifax, oldest of 5 kids. Front door on our house was like a turnstile at a train station or a bus station or a depot. You know, and all our friends knew that when they came to our house, if no one was home, and the big if the door was locked, they all knew that hanging on a string was the key. Mail slot in the door, right? And they'd be there when we got home. Or sometimes when Mom and Dad got home. You know, when I grew up, we didn't have all the latest toys. Didn't go on fancy vacations. Didn't have the designer clothes. But you know what? We never felt like we were doing without. Do you know what I mean? Studied engineering and business. Really have had the pleasure to be able to work in these fields. I'm going on 27 years now. 2 wonderful kids, Nick and Steph. You know, my wife Linda and I were just about to celebrate 29 years of marriage. And we just moved back into a neighborhood close to where we both grew up. So folks, jammed in there between I grew up the oldest of 5 to moving into a neighborhood close to where we both grew up, in here, that's my life. I'm not going to tell you it all tonight. But when I think of my life, I can't help but think of all the blessings, the things that I feel so fortunate to have. I mean, don't think about my life, think about your own life. The good fortunes that you have. You know, roof over your head, meals you eat, your employment, colleagues, time with friends, family, loved ones, recreational time, you know, your health, whatever that might be. You know, when I think of these things, for me, I guess the word is haunted. I guess haunted's the word by a number of questions, and I'll shoot some of them at you. Like questions like, why do I get to live in Canada and not a developing country? Like, why do I have the freedom to choose my career? Why have my kids have had the privilege of being able to travel safely to and from school each and every day? When I go to bed at night, why am I warm, clean, well fed? You know, why do I have enjoy this level of health that I have? And you know what? I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, all I know is I'm very fortunate. And we've all got a lot to be thankful for, don't we? I mean, it's as if we've won the lottery of life. And I don't know about you, but I could be tempted to think that I'm this self-made man. And somehow that I did it on my own, right? Well, just through my research and just a reflection on my life, here's what I realized. Here's what I learned. Steve, your life has been handed to you on a silver platter. Not to sit back and, oh, look what I'm entitled to now. Not at all. You've been given this gift. You know, and when that realization came to me, that's when it flipped the switch, right? From engineer, electrical engineer, to gratitude guy. But it was actually probably more of a dimmer, right? It took some time. It didn't just go like that. And so when I look at my life today, all aspects of my life, I see my life as a gift. And to me, there's only one appropriate response. Gratitude. What are you grateful for? Like, what are you grateful for? Let's just pair up with someone at your table. Make eye contact with someone at your table. This is audience participation part. Okay, you guys, I know you can talk to each other. Okay, whoever you make eye contact with, that's your partner. You have 90 seconds to answer the question. You have 90 seconds to answer the question, what am I grateful for? Okay? 90 seconds, go.
You're done?
No.
What are they doing?
They're doing an exercise.
I thought you were done.
No. I probably got 15 minutes left.
Okay. Well, so
I will go. I'm going to do this one more time, too. We got 15 seconds and we'll come back. Okay, 5 seconds. Come together. Okay, let's come back together. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know, as I was reading the program, the citations for the Carrick recipients, I couldn't help but be struck by a common theme through every single one of them, and that's this characteristic or this notion of taking a step to move forward every single day. You know what I mean? And I couldn't help but be reminded of a story from my own past. You know, I grew up the oldest of 5. What you don't know is I grew up a fat kid. You know, I didn't run. I couldn't run. I didn't want to run. And in my 20s, in my early 20s, I started running. And eventually, I got some encouragement. Eventually, I qualified for the Boston Marathon. So it's 1995. We're at the Boston Marathon. Now we're out at the start, 2 hours before it's going to get ready to get going. And porta potties, is that what you guys call them? Porta potties? Do we? Yeah. So porta potties are everywhere. But there's 10,000 people, right? And they're lying 20 deep, and I gotta go. And I don't know how to say this politely, but I gotta go number 2. Now. So I calmly walk into the woods, and please don't judge me for this, but when I emerge, my sweatshirt is sleeveless. Anyhow, you hear on the PA, runners, take your positions. I mean, imagine being on the line at Boston. I mean, the helicopters are overhead, TV cameras are everywhere, and just in front of us, the elite runners are up there. I mean, it's a dream come true. And I'm shaking hands, congratulating all the people next to me, and you're just jammed in. And I turn to the guy next to me. In his water bottle, he's relieving himself. I mean, he's like, maybe they were just trying to get me back for going into the woods. And yeah, we're halfway into the race. You know, we're having a great run, 13 miles on behind us. And well, what do you get when you mix 4 blocks of screaming college girls, right, in front of an all-girls college, with a first-time Boston runner who just happens to be a guy? You get a sprinter, right? Sprinting's good at the end of the race. Not so good when you got 13 miles left to run. Anyhow, come around the last corner onto Boylston Street, and you know, you just enjoy those last few minutes because you can hear on the PA ahead the names of runners as they're crossing the finish line. And you know, and as we cross the finish line, there's a volunteer there, and she's putting a medal over your head. Congratulations. You deserve it. Great run. There's all kinds of water and food there for you. Help yourself. I mean, there it is. I mean, it's this like quarter-mile long, both sides of the road. You know, cell-building, metabolic recovery food. I mean, it's what every high-performing athlete craves after a big workout. Jelly donuts. You know, there's 6 things. 6 things I discovered from that crazy little running experience. And my guess is that you Carrick recipients, you'll go, yep, because you guys have lived them to get your awards. And for the rest of you, this isn't a case of you have to remember all 6, but if there's 1 or 2 that speak to you, I hope it's going to help you and take you as you leave. So here they are. 1, everything you do makes a difference. Like, think about it. Like, what's a step? I mean, seemingly nothing. Well, you put a whole bunch of them together, geez, and all of a sudden you completed the Boston Marathon. You know, for the Carrick recipients, maybe a step is maybe it's a light fixture. You know, maybe it's tidying just a little small area. Maybe it's wearing a smile. Maybe it's being counted on as that go-to person. Maybe it's pitching in to help colleagues. You know, maybe it's saying yes. We've never done this before, but we're going to try it. You know, in and of themselves alone, they don't seem like much. But when you repeat them over and over and over again, you end up with this significant accomplishment. 2, be resourceful. You know, at the beginning of that race, I mean, there's all kinds of porta potties around, right? But they weren't any good to me. And I could have complained. Oh, we don't have enough porta potties. That would have done a lot of good, right? Because all of us, in terms of the resources that are at our disposal, we don't have everything that we need. Now, what I did wasn't pretty. Deputy Minister, I'm not recommending to your team to use my tactics, okay? But make the best of the situation and the resources you have. 3, don't let the unexpected, like, knock you off your track or knock you off your horse, knock you off your game, right? Like when I went to reach my hand out and shake that guy, I wasn't expecting that, right? Sometimes what we need to do when we get shuffled or hit or knocked not sure is just focus on what we're doing and get going and move on. 4, don't beat yourself up if you do something stupid. You know, halfway into a marathon, probably the stupidest thing you can do is sprint. But after you do it, I mean, there's not much you can do other than, you know, maybe learn from it. And then make the best of what you got and pick it up and get going. 5, enjoy the celebration. You know, I'm not a jelly donut guy. But you know what? After that race, I love those jelly donuts. They were good. And so when you hit your goal, when you hit your accomplishment, your achievement, whatever it is, like tonight, enjoy it, right? 6, so in the celebration, in the aftermath of the celebration, and even while you're working towards your accomplishment, all that, to me, it all connects back to one thing: being grateful. You know, as I look at my experience, there's all these people that made my Boston Marathon happen. People like Lynn, my wife. I mean, we were raising young kids. You know, to go out and do long training runs and, you know, to support me doing that. There's no way I could have done this without her. Al, he's my best buddy. We started running together. We finished our first marathon together. We crossed the finish line our first marathon together. Barry's the guy who encouraged me to run. He also was a guy, even after I was running a lot, he made me believe that I could finish a marathon. Because I believed that I couldn't. And Pappy, that's my grandfather. You know, Pappy, after I came back from Boston, he said, "Stephen, can you come over?" And he had this trophy made for me. And he gave me this trophy. Take a look at it, Paula, and you can, don't drop it. I mean, he was so proud. And I mean, it's special. So for you, and you look at your life and your accomplishments and where you've come, who are you grateful for? Turn to your partner. You got 30 seconds to answer the question, who are you grateful for? 30 seconds, go. Thanks, Paul. 5 seconds. This one's not as fast. Okay, let's come together. Give yourself a hand. Okay. I got one last story about a Christmas tree. But before that, I just want to give a couple thanks and acknowledgement. Just want to acknowledge and thank the minister. It's really been a privilege to be able to share this experience with you and your entire team, this big piece of your team tonight. Hats off to you for continuing to celebrate this tradition. So very good. Congratulations to the Carrick recipients. And I noticed the team guys, you guys were sitting together and different folks, and it's really something to be nominated and recognized by your peers. You know, congratulations to those who were nominated, you know, that are mentioned in the program as well. I mean, it is an honor when your peers hold you up. And to you, you know, thank you for listening, and I hope there's something that you can take away that's going to help you in your journey and your race and your next step. So, that Christmas tree. When we first got married, my wife and I, we agreed that she would handle all the minor decisions, right? And I'd take care of the major decisions. Okay? We're coming on 29 years of marriage, and I'm just waiting to make that first major decision. Right? True. I would say a Christmas tree, maybe it's a major decision. So I come home with this Christmas tree one year, and we're decorating it. Steve, you bought this tree? Like, you bought this tree? What do you mean? Did you even look at it? It's a good tree. Anyhow, by the time this tree is fully decorated, I mean, you know what fully decorated means, don't you? She steps back, she says, Stephen, that is one ugly tree. There's more. We got to get another one. That begins what we call a conversation, right? And conversations are like gold medals at the Olympics. She's always wondering what it'd be like to win one. So I come back with another tree, and nice tree, Charlie Brown. Come on, hon. I saved $20. You know, I'm just trying to watch our budget. You know, now that you're home with the kids and you don't work. Sensitive people. Pardon me. How about I get another tree? Tree number 3. I walk in the door, and there are my 2 gorgeous little kids, Nick and Steph, and they're looking up at me, and they're just, Daddy, if we don't have a Christmas tree, will Santa still come? Stephen, what are you doing? And I look at Linda, she's laughing. So it's a good tree? This one's good? Stephen, this is worse than the first 2. But we got to keep it. Because otherwise, the neighbors, they're going to start throwing their trees in the front yard too. Look, guys, I know it's important to get a nice Christmas tree. I know why it's important to get a nice Christmas tree. And contrary to my wife might tell you, I even know what a nice Christmas tree looks like. But for some reason, I wasn't getting it. It was like I'm on autopilot. So for you, some of these things we talked about tonight, taking a little step every single day. Be grateful. You know they're important. You know why they're important. But the problem is, they're simple. Right? I told you it was simple. And because it's simple, it makes it easy for you to go on autopilot. Right? And you don't want to be like me looking for a Christmas tree on autopilot. Ah! You want to be intentional. Right? And you can use gratitude to help you be intentional. And on your place setting, under your program, you might have wondered what this was. Awfully big to pick your teeth with. On it are 6 things that you can do every month to help you experience and express your gratitude. And you know why? So you can get all those benefits that were up there on the slide earlier. And it will help you make that next step in your race. Guys, gals, remember, everything you do, everything, it makes a difference. And who knows, maybe next year, you'll be back here as a contender for a Carrick. Thank you.